So I got a question for y'all. I got a question for y'all.
I got a
What
question.
what in the heck happened to CNN Plus?
Yo. Grand
Okay,
opening, grand
so
closing.
CNN Plus, they launched on March 29th. They announced last week, nah, we good. We just gonna go ahead and shut down. They made it literally barely 3 weeks before they announced they're shutting down. So this service literally has run from the 29th of March to the 30th of this month. They shut down later this week.
Right.
They spent over $100 million on getting CNN Plus up and rolling. They had, I mean, some high-end talent working over there. They made it a month. I believe it was 2 weeks ago, after they were running for 2 weeks, reports came out that they actually had fewer than 10,000 viewers a day. They didn't say 10,000 viewing hours. It's very specific what they said. 10,000 viewers. That means there's probably 10,000 individual IP addresses that actually hit their server in one day. Because if they would have went with hours, it probably would have been something far south of that.
Yeah.
But how do you spend $100 million? They were expected over, I believe, 4, maybe it was 6 years. They were going to spend $1 billion on
Just
this
like
stuff.
Quibi.
And
I think
it's like they said, you thought that Quibi, was a flash in the pan.
Yo,
Hold my
shout
beer.
out
I
to
put that
Quibi.
on
I
Twitter
still got
last week.
love for Quibi. Quibi was there was good content on Quibi, man. I just like
Oh,
I
it was
said, I
great
think
content on there.
the
I would
pandemic
argue,
killed Quibi.
I
Like
would argue
literally
that
the
there's
pandemic killed Quibi.
um were people really ready to pay that? But I would argue that there's good content on CNN Plus as well. We know that there's good content on there
True.
because you're on there. So we know that there's at least some good content on there. I think
No, but I
what they
think with Quibi
misstep was
though,
that they
it
think
was
people was gonna
designed for
pay $6 a
mobile.
month for it.
Like Quibi was designed for mobile. Everything was shot vertical. So I feel like it was designed for your commute. Because I would have paid, I was paying for Quibi clearly, and my $8 was going for, but I would have especially paid for Quibi if I had a morning commute on public transportation and I could watch that going and coming from work. I think that was their business model. And when nobody had to go to work, then they just ain't nobody gonna sit at home and watch no stuff like that on their phone. But couple things I thought about this particular situation with CNN Plus, this happened because the Discovery folks didn't want CNN Plus. The Warner Brother folks that had put this together wanted CNN Plus, but now CNN is under Discovery Warner Brother. The new company's called Discovery Warner Brothers, and
Okay.
all of the Discovery execs were like, "This ain't working. We don't want this. We never wanted this." So they just came in and started cleaning the house and slashing prices. I don't know if this was necessarily because of other competing content on Discovery's platforms. I know now this is one of the streaming things that's on Discovery Plus platform, which is also sort of news esque. And they may have some other content that they thought might compete. Also, I don't know that this would have been as successful as it could have been because you weren't able to watch the live programming. So you can't see Anderson Cooper, up front, or, anything, John Lemon and all the things that you would want to be on CNN on a streaming service to see because of the conflicts with the cable companies. You couldn't see any of CNN's actual live daily programming on CNN Plus. It was just all their extra stuff. So I think that would have turned a bunch of people on. I didn't even realize that. Like I said, full disclosure, I only signed up to watch myself. So I didn't even realize you couldn't see any of the daily stuff on there. But if I was looking for a news platform, I would expect that I'd be able to, maybe catch what I missed on regular CNN, on this platform, or watch it there instead of on CNN. So the
And
fact that you
discover
couldn't do that
new
at all
stuff.
was like a huge miss for them. But they didn't, they couldn't control that, but that was a huge ding.
Well,
For
I'll buy the other internal complications over the fact that they had abysmal numbers. But what I will say is, for a news outlet like CNN, maybe people just like CNN the way it is. A news organization, and for bad or for worse, they see some of the other outlets like Fox, like some of the other ones kind of stretching out. And I think people still kind of see, even though it kind of leans left a lot of the times, people kind of see CNN as a, this is just the news, this is just the news, this is just the news. And then CNN Plus has all this extra stuff. And maybe people are like, "No, I just like the news."
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I can't imagine that they didn't have a steering committee. And on the steering committee, you think about there's a bunch of, high level managers and even executives that are in the steering committee. It's got to be somebody's job to be the pessimist, to say, here are all the reasons why this won't work.
That
I
person
can't
got
imagine
shouted
for the
down.
life of me that someone wasn't yelling, ain't nobody trying to pay for CNN more than they already pay for it. I just can't comprehend. It's like, because here's the thing, Stephanie and I, we were talking about this when we were in the green room before we started the show. I thought when you said CNN Plus is what your stuff was going to be showing up on, that you were just talking about the CNN application. I thought that was the name of the CNN application that I had probably downloaded years ago and
Right.
don't watch.
And don't watch.
And it's like,
Yep, I
and
got
don't
CNN on
watch.
my phone, the app on my
But it's
phone
like,
too. Don't watch it.
but I remember, well, how do I actually get access to this content? I had to download the application. And then I had to, enter in the credentials for at the time, my cable subscriber.
Mhm.
Or my cable company, and I entered that stuff in, and then that allows me to watch it. I think now, like, I use Hulu for watching television, so I think I would enter in my Hulu credentials, and that would allow me to watch it. I didn't realize that there was, I think when I saw, it's like, yeah, well, y'all want $3 a month? Oh, wait a minute, it's gonna go up
A
to
whole
$6
nother
a month.
right.
It's like, oh, there's no way. It's like,
And that's
well,
because
let me call
people
my
have
girl and get the
streaming
hookup on how I can
fatigue.
watch her stuff.
It's streaming
But
fatigue too. It's too many out there, too
it's
many. We've jumped the shark on streaming at this point, and it's just too many options, too many choices, and people don't have money like that to be paying these little $5.99s add up when it's 20 of them. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And you might as well just have cable. So people are like, I ain't, man, listen, ain't nobody got time for that.
So
Hmm.
Terrance, I think, both of y'all actually mentioned this, that part of the reason that this is happening is because, well, while they were working on CNN Plus, Discovery came in, swooped up Warner
Hmm.
Media. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And so this was actually something that was happening before they came. So now what you have is Discovery saying, wait a minute. We don't want you to have your own individual thing. We want to do bundles. We want you to be able to get a little bit of HBO, a little bit of CNN, a little bit of Discovery, and this other thing. So when the numbers came out that they were abysmal, the new dude is in charge. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the easy way for us to go ahead and just, nix this right here in the bud before it gets going. So I think that there's a lot of that. The other part of
Hmm.
it too, though, they have to be really, really careful with what they're doing because, Stephanie, you said it. It's like streaming fatigue. Um, I am sitting here. I had this conversation when, I talked about this on one of my other shows, SML podcast last Friday, and I look at it like this. It's like, there are some things. Okay, well, if it's a bundle, like I get Hulu, I get Disney. Well, you know what? I would have gotten Disney if I didn't have Hulu. I would have gotten Hulu if I didn't have Disney. So that bundle makes sense. But when you start bundling stuff that I really don't care about this, you're starting to turn back into a cable company. The reason
Hmm.
that I cut the cord in the first place wasn't because I can do all these really cool things and I can stream and watch on TV. It's like, my TV's there's a coaxial next to every TV in my house. I cable was fine as far as I was concerned. Where it wasn't fine was I didn't want to pay all the money for all the content that I never watched. It's like, why am I paying for Cinemax? I have not watched Cinemax in years. Why am I paying for this? I haven't watched this in years. So cutting the cord for me kind of made sense. But now it's like, well, I have HBO, but I also have this Discovery stuff, and I
Hmm.
also have this CNN stuff. And it's like, okay, well, what does just the
Now you
HBO by
now
itself
you back
cost?
on the cord. Basically
It's
that
like
cord back
I
around
don't
your neck.
I don't want all that other stuff. And one of the things that I will say is that at least with like Paramount, and what's the other one? The NBC
Peacock.
one, Peacock. They're relatively easy to cancel. So up until recently, because there now are 3 shows that I watch that is on Paramount Plus. There's 3 shows all out right now that I'm watching. I'll go ahead and give them their money every month. But up until literally 6 weeks ago, I would sign up at the end of a season of whatever I wanted to watch, binge watch it, and then cancel within the same month. So I'm giving you $5 once, one time a year as compared to giving you 60 over the course of the year. I'm not saying that everyone's going to do that, but I'm cheap. I will do that. I have no problem.
Until they stop and start streaming stuff a week at a time, which is what
Right.
Netflix
Oh,
is
well, which
about
they
to start
do.
And which
doing.
is
So,
what Peacock
which
did with Bel Air.
yeah, so
Mhm.
You had to
so
watch
what
it,
I
you
do
know?
is I wait till the end of the season. So it used to be hard to do this because we would go to work and we would actually stand by the water cooler and we would talk about the episodes of the things that came on. For me, like the last shows that I remember, I couldn't wait to get to work the next day to talk about. It was Fringe and 24. Literally, my people at work, we was
Oh,
gonna have a 15-minute conversation about what Jack did the night before. That really has changed now with streaming. Folks are pretty cool with not just spilling the beans because they don't know if you watched it or not. I've actually done that on accident, at times and been called out for it. But usually people are pretty cool with that. So for me, it's like I don't want to just pay for your streaming service for a year and watch one thing. I need to have multiple things on there for me to get it. Or, what I wish they would do is just let me just buy Halo. Let me just buy uh Bel Air. Let me just buy Star Trek. Let me just
Yeah,
buy
that would
Picard.
make more sense.
Let me
Because
just
I
do that.
definitely, there's
So
really between all these platforms, there's probably one or two shows per platform that I actually will watch or want to watch, care to watch. It's just, capitalism.
That
Hello, capitalism.
back right where
yeah,
we were.
but
Discovery's about to be a beast though, because that HBO Max thing is pending, and they're about to make Discovery Plus and HBO Max a single platform.
and
So
see that doesn't make a whole lot of
it
sense.
it doesn't make any sense to me,
It
but I
doesn't make
mean
any
they
sense.
about to do
And
it.
it's not like you know what, we're going to join these two things together and charge you less. I said no company ever in the history of
No.
companies. So like I said, that gets into where do I really, really want to watch this? Do I really need to keep this? But like I said, CNN Plus, y'all didn't make it
I
3
mean,
weeks.
RIP. That's all we can say. It's so
Man, 3 weeks. And like I said, if you gave the
RIP.
tech giant $100 million, I guarantee you, he could get you more than 10,000 views in a single day. There's no question in my mind that
I
that
think
could happen.
so.
So it was
Yeah.
just
Well,
super,
Why don't y'all
super interesting.
sign up? Why don't y'all just sign up for Patreon and get in there, pull up, and then tell me how that goes.
I'm saying we gonna bring CNN Plus back through Patreon.